We're going to go ahead and replace our driver's side outer tie rod end, located right here behind the driver's side wheel. The process is the same for the passenger side. Using our 22mm socket, let's loosen and remove our lug nuts. Go ahead and remove your wheel, set that aside. So we're going to go ahead and remove our cotter pin here. You can use a pair of cutters or pliers. I'm going to straighten out the legs here. I'm going to use our cutters here to use leverage. Pinch and pry, pinch and pry. And we'll pull that out. Now cotter pins are a one-time use, so you just want to throw that out. You're going to have to replace that. I'm going to use a 17mm socket. I'm going to get and loosen this nut, but we're not going to remove it. I'm going to bring that nut up to the top here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a hammer. We're going to strike our knuckle here. That should release our outer tie rod. That nut is perfect on there. It works as a capture nut. Now we want to go ahead and loosen our jam nut here. So we're going to use a pair of pliers here. Let's go ahead and loosen this. All right, now that we have that loose, we want to go ahead and remove our nut here. And we're going to spin off our outer tie rod. And what you want to do is when you unthread your outer tie rod, you want to count the amount of full revolutions it takes to remove it. So when we install our new part, we'll get a preliminary alignment setting. Let's go ahead and unthread this. A 17. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a crayon or a marker, you can use whatever, mark up here so we know how many revolutions it takes to put it back on. Let's go ahead and install our outer tie rod, and we're going to install this, the 17 turns that it took to remove it. All right, is our 17 turns. Gonna go ahead and remove our nut here. I'm gonna go ahead and install this into our knuckle. I might have to adjust that a little bit to get that to slide up and in. Pop that up and install the nut. Now this particular nut is a nylon lock nut. You can see the blue collar on the inside. So in this case here, we're not going to need to use a locking cotter pin. We just want to go ahead and tighten this up and torque it to specification, and it'll lock itself in place. I'm going to use a 22mm wrench on the nut, and in the center of the ball joint, there's actually a number 6 Allen key. Once we get that snug, let's go ahead and tighten that up a little bit more. Go ahead and torque down the nut to 44 foot-pounds. At this point here, we want to go ahead and tighten down our jam nut. Now, if you have the ability to do so, you want to go ahead and torque this to 33 foot-pounds. We're just going to get our wrench on here, and we're going to make that snug. Lastly, what we're going to do is we want to go ahead and I'm going to use my pliers. I'm going to grab right here and want to make sure that our outer tie rod is leveled, not twisted up left or right. So we're just going to adjust this here. Now that this is all complete, you definitely want to go down and get an alignment done. That'll help prevent any abnormal tire wear or drivability issues. Go ahead and install your wheel. Go ahead and install your lug nuts. Once we get these installed, we're going to snug them up, and then we'll go ahead and torque them down. Let's go ahead and torque our lug nuts down to 95 foot-pounds.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.